In this video, I will give these little creatures a brand new home. Here's how. The jar that I will be using today is this one from a thrift store. It was only €2. Before anything else, I wanted to test if these two pieces of driftwood would fit in the jar. Luckily, they did. I want to create the entire scrape around them. Okay, now we can begin with the drainage layer. This layer will hold and slowly release the water if you water too much. This way the substrate won't become moldy or soggy. To separate the drainage layer from the substrate, you can use window screen mesh or something else that lets the water through. I used some mesh and I cut it out with my scissors. This doesn't have to be the right shape, but I would suggest going a little bigger than the drainage layer. On top of the mesh, I added charcoal. This will filter the water and help prevent odor or bacterial buildup. You can buy activated charcoal, but I used charcoal from our wood stove. The charcoal had been laying outside for a while, so that way it was activated. Then it was finally time to add the substrate. I only added a small layer at first, so I could still add the hardscape. The substrate consists of 4 parts. Compost from my garden, sand, moss, and also some wood chips. If you combine all of these elements, you will create an airy substrate as well as a good draining substrate. This is very important for a long-lasting terrarium. Then I added the wood. If I left it like this, it would quickly fall over. So I glued them together using the super glue and tissue method. This is a very easy, reliable, strong, animal and plant safe way to combine hardscape elements. You can just put some paper towel or tissue paper between the pieces you want to glue. Then you add liquid super glue and it will create a firm and stable bond. Do this on multiple key places for optimal security. To hide the white spots, you can just push moss, substrate or sand into the glue while it's still wet. So, with that piece of wood that I will probably never ever get out of there again, we can add the substrate to the back. I always try to add more substrate to the back than to the front. This will create more depth and give an interesting look to the terrarium. Now we can start planting. I began with the ferns in the back to also create the depth and interesting look. Then I added some mosses. This is rough-stalked feather moss. It's very common in my area. It grows very good in terrariums, so I added it into a few different spots. Then I super glued some more pieces onto the wood to represent some dead trees and to create contrast between all the green plants. This will give it more detail and create a sense of scale in the terrarium. Then I added some more species of moss, including thread moss and also star moss. I will add some more detail and plants later, but first I added this path. It is off-center to create a golden ratio, and I made it out of sand. I added some small leaves to the sides of the path, so the transition from the moss to the path isn't so rough. Even though it looked pretty good already, I thought it was still missing something. So I added some small detailing plants. First, I added Pilea glauca. The leaves of this plant will fit perfectly with the scale that I'm going for. Same goes for this plant. This is Selaginella. It also has small leaves and will grow perfectly in this terrarium. Then I also planted this Peperomia verticillata cutting to the back because I know it can get pretty big. Lastly, I added this small vine plant called Ficus pumila. I'll have to take a close look on it because it can grow pretty quickly. Now the only thing that is left to do is to add the creatures. and it seems like they are already enjoying their brand new home.